so first of all, shout out to Marissa. I'm probably not saying that right, but shout out to her for recommending, or she wanted to see what I would do with these bunny cutouts, and also the foam bunnies, which I haven't gotten any ideas really for the foam bunnies yet, other than painting them. I'm kind of at a loss for those, but anyway, I had some ideas for these, so I'll go ahead, and this is the first one here. We're gonna start with. Anyway, I take this antique wax and I just distress this, or paint this bunny with it, basically stain the bunny, I guess you should say. Stain the bunny with this wax because I didn't want to get out my stain, and I do like this color of this wax. So I do that here real quick. And I'm just using one of those Dollar Tree craft brushes and a paper towel to kind of wipe it off. And then here at the end, I actually take a baby wipe too, and I wipe it with a baby wipe, and that just kind of helps to blend it into the wood a little bit better. Okay, so I got that first bunny all stained up, and then I took white, this is just Apple Barrel white plain paint, and I painted this bunny, and I didn't worry about like full coverage, and I actually had some, you know, wax still left on my brush. I didn't worry about any of that. I just kind of kept going because I don't mind if that, like, you know, gets that look in there. Anyway, and then I wanted to mention also this mat, this silicone mat that is underneath my workspace here is amazing. I saw this from Melissa at All Things Crafty. She uses one, and I asked her about it, and she said that it's great. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this. So I ordered one, and I love it too. And you can see how easy it cleans right up. So that's awesome. I was really excited about that, and I had to mention it here because it's really, really handy if you're a crafter and you have a crazy craft space like me. Okay, all clean. And then I took this stencil from Magnolia Design Co. And I know you're supposed to use their chalk paste and all that, and I do everything wrong. But I also took a paper towel, which is, you're not supposed to do that either. But anyway, I just rubbed this on here with a paper towel. You know, got it full coverage. And then I took a baby wipe, and I wiped it all back as best as I could because I like to clean these stencils off, you know, as I go. And then obviously I take it later and wipe it off in the sink. You can do that with these. So anyway, yep, I just got this all on there like a stencil, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and then here you'll see I took the baby wipe, like I said, and just wiped it off as best as I could. Got it as clean as possible. And then I also, on accident, got the brown wax on the sides, like where the ears and the feet are. But when I pull this off, I actually ended up really liking that. Initially, I was gonna, like, you know, go back over it with white paint and touch it up with polka dots. But like I said, there you can see, I really liked that look. So I left it like that. Okay, and then moving on to the brown bunny, I took these button plugs. I call them button plugs. I don't think that's what they're called, but anyway, I took these and I spaced them out, you know, evenly, like symmetrically on each side so I could have them how I wanted them before I glued them down. I wanted them to look nice. So like I said, I laid them out first. And then obviously I went back in with my hot glue and then glued them where I had them placed. Every time I use this hot glue gun, I get questions about it, so I linked it. I got approved for an Amazon storefront, so I went ahead and like linked this, and I linked basically everything I could that's in the video that I used that's not Dollar Tree, like the button plugs and, you know, my wax and my silicone mat. I tried to link everything, so if anybody is interested in any of that and you couldn't find it, I did link it down there. So definitely check it out if you're in need of any of these craft supplies. And then I took these little white cotton ball type things. They're from Dollar Tree. And I just glued a bundle of them on there for a tail. I thought it needed a really cute puffy tail like this. So yeah, I just think that's so cute. And then I took, what did I do here? I took wax and dry brushed it across the button plugs. And then I also took some cream, like I think it was toasted marshmallow. I took it over across the buttons too, just to give them, I don't know, more of a antique look and just make it look a little less make them stand out a little less than they did when they were like pure wood looking. And sorry for, you'll see in this video like a million times in this part, I roll up my sleeves like 100 times because this was my husband's shirt. I'm to the point in pregnancy where like, that's what fits me right now. So anyway, I'm sorry that I keep rolling the sleeves up. It kind of drove me crazy, but it was on parts that I couldn't crop out. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Okay, and then back to the polka dotted bunny for a second. I take some raffia, and I always like to show you guys my big bag of raffia. I got that for $2 at Habitat for Humanity Restore in my area, and I was so excited, and I think I'll probably have that forever because it was like a lifetime supply. So anyway, I just make a little raffia bow, nothing to it, just straightforward, wrap it around, tie it up, you know. Anyway, and then I hot glue that to the bunny kind of off to the side. I think it looks pretty cute. And another little disclaimer I would like to add into my video today is that I am not bored ever when I'm doing these voiceovers. I'm pregnant right now, and sometimes I get short of breath. So, and then also sometimes I lose my train of thought, and I just really wanted to mention that because if you've never done a voiceover, it's kind of hard to like remember what you did during the craft and also to like try to say everything right. So I just wanted, you know, give me grace and everybody grace, really. Thank you all for watching that are understanding about that. Okay, but back to this craft, and this is the fun part. I was really excited about this. This is not from Dollar Tree, obviously. I just had this old spindle from like a thrift store or something. It was out in the garage, so I brought it in, cleaned it up really good. I tried to take out that little piece there, but I couldn't get it. So I ended up just leaving it in there, and I'll have my husband take it out later. But what I did here was I just take the bunnies and hot glue them to this spindle. And my plan is to like stick this in a like a planter or a pot or something. And for now, when I stage this up at the end, it's just in my house, but I think it'll be really cute out on my porch. But like I said, for now, I just showed you guys it by my fireplace, which also looks pretty cute, I think. But anyway, I hot glued it on there, like I said, and then I took some staples and I put one staple in each bunny, kind of where because you can see that the spindles aren't flush with the bunny the whole way through. So I do stick a staple in where they do connect, just for some extra hold. Okay, and like I said, here's a look at how it turned out by my fireplace. I just staged it up with what I already had there, and I think it turned out so cute. I'm really happy with this one. Okay, and then moving on to this little sign. I have a couple of these from Dollar Tree, the little Leprechaun Signs, and I wanted to remake them, obviously. So on this one, I wanted to use this side. So I sanded off the sparkly parts and all that. Okay, and this little thing fooled me. I thought that was gonna be super easy to rip off because half of it was like already coming off, but it was not. And it was kind of a nightmare. So I just ended up leaving that like that. And I sanded it so that it would like blend in and you wouldn't be able to tell that it was like half, you know, that papery look underneath. But yeah, so what I would recommend is to not do that. Okay, and I promise this turns out really cute, but this isn't looking good right now, so just bear with me. I tried this Dollar Tree acrylic paint, and I'll be the guinea pig here. If you haven't tried it yet, I wouldn't even waste your time because look, it looks like I'm putting on a layer of like Mod Podge or something. So I don't know, it might be good for something else. Like I did use it on another craft, and I kind of used it to blend my paint, and I made my color lighter with it, but otherwise, no, it's not good for coverage. So anyway, I got out my cotton Dixie Belle white paint that I use for everything, and I painted this white. I gave it a couple coats because, you know, obviously I didn't want to be able to see that green through it. Okay, and then I printed out this little decal that says spring is in the air and has a little birdie on it. I printed it out with my Cricut. I will try to link the Etsy shop where I got this SVG from. And this vinyl also was like just a scrap piece that I had on hand because this sign is only like a 5x5, or I think I ended up printing that out. It was a 4x4. So anyway, I just had a little scrap piece, and I don't like that kind of vinyl because it's shiny. Normally I would use a matte vinyl for a sign like this. But anyway, like I said, that was all I had. Like I don't have any black right now, and I just had that scrap piece, so obviously wanted to use it up. So anyway, I just do my thing here, you know, how you do with a Cricut. If you have one, you know. You just put that on transfer paper, transfer tape, I guess. And then I tried to line this up as best as I could, but I got it crooked on the paper, so try not to do that if you're gonna use the transfer tape. Try to get it on there really straight, especially your words, because it's hard to line them up if you don't. And then this was a pain. The paint was dry, but I don't know if it's just because these little signs are cheap and, you know, the paint doesn't stick to them very well, but I couldn't get that off in that upper corner, and I ended up ripping part of the bird. So I do end up going back in later. I don't show it in the video, but I go back in later and I touch up the bird with a marker. But anyway, yep, I finally get this off of here. I just go really slow. You know, if you have a Cricut, you know how it goes. This part can be kind of tedious. But if you don't have a Cricut, don't worry. Stay tuned for the next craft, because I don't use my Cricut for the next one, and it's pretty cute too. So like I said, that part there where the bird is got messed up, so I did go back in and touch up the paint. And then I also take my brown wax again on this sign, and I just stressed it. Oh, I guess I took black paint. Sorry. Took my black paint and my black wax. What am I doing here? Anyway, yeah, I took all that, distressed it a little bit because it was already kind of distressed with the paint kind of chipping off in some places, which I thought it looked pretty cool. That's what I like. So anyway, distress, there you go. Okay, and then of course I had to make a bow for the top. I took this little burlap ribbon here. It was from Michael's, and then I took my raffia. Of course, I had to show you guys my raffia bag again because I had to brag about it. No, just kidding. But anyway, wrap it up, make a little bow. Nothing crazy, just same old, same old. And then I hot glued it to the top. It kind of ends up looking like bunny ears in a way. And then I also took like a little white pom-pom ball and stuck it in the middle for a cute little decoration. And I think this is just super cute. Okay, so I got that all fluffed up and situated and then hot glued it to the top. And here's a look at how it turned out. I styled it in my antique secretary, and I just absolutely love it. It's so cute. I had a little winter sign in there that was the same shape and size, so this works out perfectly for a little spring touch. Okay, and then on to this next one. Okay, so I took another one of the Leprechaun signs, and for this one I want to use the back side. So I removed the tag and the little hanger piece and everything, and then I just painted this. I painted everything you could see, and I didn't worry about painting the back because I knew, or I guess the front. I knew where I was gonna put this, and I knew you wouldn't see the back, so I didn't want to waste my paint. So I just got it all painted up on the back side here. And I only did one coat on the inner part because I wanted this to be like distressed looking. And since it was brown, you know, I didn't mind the brown coming through. And then I painted this bunny white because I don't know what I was thinking I was gonna do here, but I ended up painting it pink. And that color is called Think Pink, and it's just it's a brand from Hobby Lobby. I can't remember the brand name though. So I gave that one rough coat of pink, and then I blow dried it and all that. Then I took my wax and this little chippy brush, and I distressed it a little bit because, you know, can't have it looking perfect. And then I took the back side of my paintbrush and dipped it in my paint, my white paint, and made little white polka dots all over this bunny. Next, I took my brown wax and distressed the inside of this box as well. And then I hot glued the bunny down right in the middle of the box. And then I just made a little simple loop-de-loop bow here and hot glued it kind of like on the corner there instead of like at the top or anything. I just put it on the corner. Okay, and then I hot glued it on, and then I decided to add a little pom-pom, and then I thought that it would be cute maybe to add this pearl, but then I looked at it for a second, and I was like, no, that's not gonna work. And so I took it off, and then I just didn't do anything there, but I wish I would have at least just done the pom-pom, but anyway, I just kept it simple. Okay, and then I decided to add this mossy grass stuff, because for some reason, I don't know why, I just thought it needed something. It probably would have been perfectly fine and cute without this, but I don't know. I just added it anyway, and I think it's cute. When I did add it, I think it's cute. I hot glued that in there, and then I do take some like white paint and I kind of dry brush over it. Okay, and then I decided to just lay this lacy ribbon along the edges of the box just to make it look a little more high-end, I guess, because these Dollar Tree boxes, you know, they're just like chintzy, you know. So anyway, I just added this to it to kind of give it a little bit more of a cute look. Okay, and then I did one more thing here on this little box. I took some floral wire, and then I took these wooden buttons. These are from Michael's, but you know, you could use Dollar Tree buttons if you wanted to. I just didn't want to have to like search through the little buttons and get the wooden ones. So anyway, this is kind of like the concept of taking like wood beads and putting them on the top for a little hanger, but I wanted to try this with buttons just to be different and try to like come up with a new idea. So I just like, what's the word? Laced them. Yeah, so I just like laced them through on this floral wire. And I got them on there enough to where I went through 2 holes, so they were on there good. And then I just did enough to where, like, once I held this up to the box, that I felt like it was a good size for it. Okay, and then I took my antique wax. I was using the antique wax hard this video. But anyway, I used that to just make these buttons look a little more aged, I guess, instead of straight wood. And then I also do dry brush some white across them in a little bit. But then I just took this, flipped it over, and put some staples in the very top rim of the sign so that these would hold on to there. And then I took the floral wire and like twisted it across so that these would really hang on tight and they wouldn't fall off. I played around with some flowers and stuff to see if I liked anything else on this, but I didn't. I ended up just leaving it at that, and here's a look at how it turned out. I think it turned out super, super cute. I love it. Okay, and then moving on to the last one, it's a Splatter Screen hanger with Dollar Tree, mostly all Dollar Tree supplies. Dollar Tree Splatter Screen to start, obviously, and I went ahead and stuck these little button plugs on first, and then I go in and paint it. I just figured that would be the easiest way. So anyway, I take white cotton paint by Dixie Belle. You could use any white chalk paint though, or you could take it outside and spray paint it, but obviously it's winter here and I'm not doing that right now. Okay, so then after the first coat, I blow dry it. I always blow dry in between. And then I flip this over and kind of get like on the back side a little bit too, because you can see around that rim there. So I do 2 coats on the front and like 1 coat on the back. And then here in a second I take this cream colored chalk paste, and I like dry brushed that on there. It was Almond Latte and it's Magnolia Design Co. brand. It's just a chalk paste, and it just had it on hand there, but you could use any like cream color, you know, to match this look. I just didn't like how pure white that the cotton was. I never really like pure white, anything to be pure white. So anyway, I did that, and then I also took like a little chippy brush here, and I took some antique wax and just kind of distressed the buttons mainly, and just gave it a little bit of an antique look, you know. And then I do the same thing here on the chuck. Actually, I take that antique brown wax, and I just kind of dabbed it on like the edges, and you know, just kind of gave the truck a little bit more of like a rusty old look, but very subtle. I didn't go crazy with this part. Okay, and then I had this really pretty sprig of pink flowers that I got from Michael's, and I went ahead and like pulled it apart, and I pulled the leaves off, and what I did was like pull all the plastic off the bottom part so it would be the least bulky as possible, because I knew I was going to put it like under the truck. So anyway, I took the leaves and I like separated them like that, and then I hot glued them together so that they would be facing forward. You can see what I'm doing here, and I just made them all pretty like that, and then I arranged them all behind the truck how I thought they looked good. And then I just hot glued all the leaves down, and then hot glued all the flowers down, and then I hot glued the truck down. Okay, and then to reinforce the truck being held onto the screen, I take a little piece of floor wire and I go through that one hole in the truck and just wrap it up and tighten it on there. That way, you know, it's a little bit extra sturdy, because, you know, just being hot glued onto that and then like the flowers making it kind of stick off kind of makes it a little unsturdy. But with the little floor wire piece there and the hot glue, it holds on really, really well. But you could always use like E6000 if you were unsure of the hold. Okay, and then I get all my ribbon out here, and I pick out all the pretty ones that I like, that I want for this bow. And I just make like a little crisscross bow, you know, nothing new. And a lot of these, mostly all of these, are from Michael's or burlapfabric.com, which I will link in the description box. Or they're from Dollar Tree, so that's where you can find all of those ribbon. Okay, and then I just hot glue the bow on, of course, and then I take some ribbon here and cut a little piece, and I put it on the back for like a little hanger for the whole thing. Oh, and I put a little white pom-pom there on the bow just for fun. But then yeah, here, like I said, I took this ribbon and attached it on the back, put little dabs of hot glue over top of it to hold it on, and there you have it. This is pretty much all done.